Moonlighter is a game designed to make you hate yourself. From impossible dungeons to annoying old people, Moonlighter is... Where was I going with this?
100 days!
Oh, right. 100 days. Well, in that case, since I was a kid, I remember being fascinated with the thought of dungeon diving. The concept of battling through mysterious labyrinths in search of priceless loot is something that has always got my blood pumping. What I don't remember is being so bad at it. Dungeon after dungeon after dungeon. I have failed countless times chasing my childhood dream of becoming a hero, never being able to truly give it up. However, this time was different. Giving myself just 100 days to become a true hero, I would be forced to make a ton of smart decisions. But before any of that, I was about to make one of the worst decisions I have made in a long time.
Let's do very hard. Let's do very hard because I'm a gamer. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
See, the difference between me and your favorite YouTuber is there's no difference.
I think the difference will become evident soon. My hero's journey starts off with me entering my first dungeon where I quickly realized I was strange.
Bro, I'm just running through these stone tables. What? Okay, whatever. Whatever. I think it's good game design, honestly.
Game design aside, I progressed through my first dungeon learning the ropes of being a hero. But let's just say, I still had a long way to go before I was ready to save anyone.
Okay. Oh, whoa. Hold on. Bro, can we talk about this? Can we talk about what's going on? Please. How about we just talk about the... Oh, they're not talking. They weren't trying to talk to me. And there was all my loot. My hard-earned loot gone. Can we just talk about the political state of the world right now? Goodness gracious. Dang, they threw me out the club and everything. They are not rocking with me, bro. Who's that old guy?
That old guy is Xenon, a friend of my grandfather who watched me grow up and is really the only family I have left. Once waking up from my failed attempt at heroism, I got to have my first proper conversation with the old man. The introduction could have probably gone smoother.
Morning, boy. Wait a minute. Why did I read it like that?
Xenon told me that since I was the last of my family, the responsibility of running my family shop, the Moonlighter, was mine alone, and that I shouldn't be risking my life following the legend of the Fifth Door, a dungeon that is said to only open to those who have conquered the 4 existing dungeons, a challenge for a true hero. But for now, the more pressing matter was that merchant job I spoke of earlier. And after giving me an old sword and shield for gathering loot, Xenon showed me what it took to successfully run the shop. Well, most of what it took.
So are these guys adventurers or are they just like random goers? Let's see his expression. Let's see what he thinks. Hey man, if you're broke, just say that.
The way you sell loot in Moonlighter is pretty similar to real life. Once acquiring an item, I can price it however I see fit. This may or may not work. Based on customers' expressions, I can tell whether or not I should change the item's price point. Prices are also affected by demand, allowing me to charge more or less for specific loot depending on how popular the object is, making all the merchant stuff trial and error pretty much. But on the bright side, all the data is kept in my notebook for me to reference later. So I don't have to guess all the time, but that won't stop me from scamming customers whenever I can. Finishing up work for today meant I was finally free to continue my dungeon exploration, where I took some time to limit tests with my new sword and shield, finding my limits pretty quickly.
Oh, I didn't know he could switch!
Before finding the remains of another explorer known as Old Pete, a man that Xenon mentioned earlier, who met an untimely death while battling one of the dungeon's mobs. Along with Pete's account of each dungeon having a guardian with a key to beat, I discovered a diagram that confirmed his logic on the remains of a nearby monster. Looks like I'd be doing this for Pete's sake as well. Now that I'd uncovered a clue and a good bit of loot, I was prompted to use my pendant, a tool that would teleport me back to town in exchange for gold, essential to escaping the dungeon when I'd reached my goals for the run. Returning to town, I reunited with Xenon, who advised me to check out the town board, a posting space in the middle of town that I could use to request new merchants to join me here in the city of Renoka, each specializing in their own trade. But I would need to provide each merchant with a startup payment. I could also use the town board to request upgrades to Moonlighter, making customers more satisfied, allowing me to scam them to a greater degree. A win-win for everyone, if you ask me. With some new goals in mind, I return home to deposit my loot and prepare for my first day of running the shop solo, which was anything but professional. Okay, let's see what the she's very upset. That encounter pretty much sums up my day. Like I mentioned before, most pricing comes down to trial and error, and since I am just starting out, I have no idea what prices I can get away with, but hopefully it won't be this way forever or Moonlighter is doomed. On the bright side, I did manage to scam a few customers, scraping together enough coins to request the Vulcan's Forge at the town board. A solid start to restoring the town. The Vulcan's Forge sold all kinds of gear and weapons, none of which were fairly priced. I just want to say it's pretty lame that when I get scammed, it's cool, but when I start doing the scamming, the city is outraged. Unfair business practices aside, I was too broke to even consider most of the gear in town, so I made my way towards the dungeon to acquire more loot. This is where I noticed that each dungeon run is completely different, and the rooms are generated randomly, making each run a series of gambling, and let's just say, I would never make it in Vegas.
Oh wait, is this always different? Oh, whoa. This kind of... Oh boy. Oh. Wait, I left and they all reset their health. Bro, what? Oh. Look. Wait. Oh my god,
Believe it or not, going out like that is one of the less heartbreaking ways to go. During my second dungeon run of the night, I discovered my first cursed objects that are just like regular items except with an added condition. For now, these were pretty chill, only requiring me to place loot in a specific slot of my bag. But these can get problematic fast. Some can literally delete items, making bag management a big deal. Speaking of big deals, deeper into the dungeon, I found a healing spring, which was a breath of fresh air. I just wish I had have taken a deeper one.
Oh, he's big. Oh, whoa. I did not expect to see this big man in here. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Yup. Yeah, you should have never let me. Yeah, you should have never let me find out. Yup. No, you should never let me find out that. Yup. You had to spin behind you. Yep, you should have never let me find that out about you. Now look at you, getting dropped off, left and right and left. Let's go down.
Beating the floor boss was a huge confidence boost, and only made me want to go for more. So naturally, I did.
I should've. I could hear the loot with every. Bro. Oh my! I'm stuck in the. I'm dead. It's just a death experience for me. Why can't I use my pendant, man? Bro, I'm about to. Oh my. I can't. Oh my god, I should have just left. Why do I keep doing this? Oh my god.
By the time the dust settled, it was day 5, and although I'd lost a lot of loot due to my greed, I still had more than enough items to sell while running the Moonlighter, which was something I had definitely come to enjoy as time progressed.
She's still bottom though.
The day of commerce concluded with me racking in a significant amount of coins that I used a portion of to request another addition to the town, the Wooden Hat, a shop specializing in potions and enchantments, something just as important as gear, because without health potions, deeper dungeon runs are impossible. Now that I prepared for my night of exploration, I hit the dungeon and was starting to get the hang of it, allowing me to collect a bunch of loot and make it to level 2, where I found a device known as the Mirror that I could use to sell items immediately, making it so I could always afford to use my pendant to leave bad runs. The only catch being, the money received for each object was reduced, so selling things at Moonlighter was for sure still optimal for making cash. Speaking of which, day 6 of merchant work was profitable, granted not as much as day 5 due to to me not selling some materials I needed for my very first weapon purchase, the Greatsword, a slower, stronger version of the regular sword and shield combo Xenon gave me. It also seemed that each weapon had 2 routes of upgrades, one that offered more base damage, and a second that I guess came with a special damage type, giving the weapon bonus on hit effects. Excited to test out my new weapon, I quickly refilled my potions and dove headfirst into the dungeon where something interesting happened. Whoa. What? FYI, this does not happen every time you fall. I just got lucky. The Wanderer Dungeon is like an alternate dimension with a bunch of loot and unique mobs, which of course did not hesitate to roll me. Bro, what? Hey, stop doing that. Oh! As much as dying here sucked, it's cool because the Wanderer Dungeon has a random chance to spawn in regular dungeons, so I get another chance to complete it. For now though, I would have to deal with all the scary things in my current dimension.
Okay, I like the big sword, don't get me. Oh! Oh my god, he scared me so much I dropped my map! Oh my god, he scared me so much I pulled my map out! What is that? Please stop! What? 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 Oh my. This game so evil!
Moonlighter is just a scary game in general. While in the dungeon, I also realized it's pretty easy to lose track of time, as I missed out on a whole day of shopkeeping without even realizing it. Instead of seeing this as a bad thing though, I saw it as a way to juice my next day of selling goods, because I could still return home and store loot. The one drawback being that I couldn't make money for that current day, limiting the amount of potions I could buy, which directly affected how deep I could dive in the dungeons. So abandoning the shop for multiple days was not a good idea. The juicing strategy turned out to be legit though, as day 8 was my most profitable day yet, scoring me a little over 7,000 coins, giving me enough to upgrade my big sword to Buster status, increasing its base damage. I still wanted to experiment with the second pathway at some point, but for now, I didn't have the required materials. But an increase in base damage was nothing to sneeze at, nearly doubling the amount of damage I did to mobs. This allowed me to make it all the way to the 2nd level floor boss of the Golem Dungeon, who immediately humbled me.
Oh my god, okay. Yep. That's what I thought he was gonna be doing. Nonsense.
Barely escaping a gruesome death, I requested the 3rd shop of Renoka at the town board, known as Le Retailer, who I found out later is apparently a bigger scammer than me, charging some pretty absurd prices for the same things that I sell. Once again, I'm seeing some double standards and I don't like them. Once wrapping up work for the day, I headed back to the dungeon to try my hand at beating the corrupted Golem Warrior again, which didn't go any better the second time.
Dang. Actually just folding me, bro. Like a napkin.
Fueled by determination, I battled my way back through the dungeon for attempt number 3, hoping I wouldn't have to put the game on easy and act like this playthrough never happened.
Oh god. Oh. Oh.
Oh, die!
Die! Oh, die a terrible, painful, miserable I mean, we did it! Yay, 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 yay.
My 3rd crack at the floor boss was successful, rewarding me with a bunch of loot and the right to move on to floor 3, where I was given another useful item.
This looks scary. One more item dropped by that strange jelly creature. This one is a little more straightforward than the mirror. Similar to our pendants, if given enough gold, we can portal to safety. But, and this is a big but, ha. The portal remains open after use, meaning one may travel back to the very spot they departed from. Ah! Simply amazing, very convenient. For the time being, let us call it the Catalyst. Tip, Catalyst requires quite a bit more gold than our pendants. Interesting.
Like mentioned in the note, the catalyst was useful for creating a dungeon shortcut, making it so I didn't have to travel all the way back to floor 3. The catch being that the portal left behind was good for one use and was super expensive, costing me 2,000 coins for the portal I had just made, so it wasn't something I could just use willy-nilly right now. Being that my run was pretty successful, I decided to turn in for the night and went to check out Le Retailer early in the morning. This is where I realized the disparity in prices I mentioned before, as I could barely afford basic materials at the retailer shop. Being broke is not a good feeling, so I returned home to begin running Moonlighter, and I gotta say, I was starting to get good at this merchant stuff. I mean, just look at me.
Last customer, goodbye. No, don't even come in here. Don't even come in here with all those stupid books you got in your hand. No.
To be fair, being a merchant is stressful work. You'd kick them out too. I spent my hard-earned cash for the day on a pair of fighter gloves at the Vulcan's Forge, which I thought were more of an accessory item, kind of how gloves work in any other game, but the only thing these gloves are an accessory to is violence.
Oh, these are oh. Wait, I thought these were gloves as in like to equip. These are like you can beat somebody. Oh, hold up.
Since I had a new weapon to try out, I jumped back into the dungeon with the portal I left behind, putting me on level 3, allowing me to acquire a lot of loot since I was starting off healthy on a higher level, including a few new drops from some plant mobs I found. That being said, I still was getting absolutely owned, so I did have to leave soon after because I didn't want to lose my bag, you feel me? The next day of selling product was normal, with not too much to say besides I love scamming customers.
And you were the last one. Nobody else come in here. Close the shop after that. I'm tired of seeing y'all. Tired of seeing y'all. Come back later. Goodbye.
The night of looting also started off normal, until I got another chance at the Wanderer dungeon that I was better prepared for now that I'd made some upgrades to my weapons. The final room of the dungeon put me face to face with a giant slime boss that was a piece of cake compared to the vanishing golem boss I got rolled by before. Once beating the jello monster, I was rewarded with a bone sword, a super quick dagger with the ability to become even faster at the cost of health points. Unfortunately, I couldn't keep the sword as it had a curse preventing it from being taken out of the dungeon, but I guess it was fun while it lasted. Once I stored my loot from the raid, I bought my first piece of armor from Vulcan's Forge, a fabric bandana that boosted my speed and gave me 30 more health points. And let's be real, I need all the health I can get. Following the bandana limit test, I found out that I could equip a familiar that would help me out in dungeons, sort of like a mob pet, with each one having its own cool abilities. I chose this little slime guy that had a chance to stun mobs when he unleashed his ferocious attack. On a less ferocious note, I continued to make bank at the shop, giving me enough cash to purchase a bow and upgrade it at Vulcan's Forge. I also bought a helmet, which don't ask me why. I thought I could wear the helmet with the bandana. I just thought I could for some reason.
Get him, Slimy. Yeah.
While me and the slimiest boy went on a rampage within the dungeon, I was able to find another one of those trick weapons that disappear when you teleport back home. This one being pretty similar to my sword, dealing bonus damage when its blood price mode was activated. A weapon that was absolutely perfect for clearing out dungeon rooms. You can probably see where this is going. I am about to
Just open the shop and act like nothing happened.
You should also act like nothing happened. I showed you this because I trust you, okay? The latest installment of Getting Rich with Clutch did make me feel a little less depressed, as I brought in a little over 18,000 gold schmeckles. The most profit I have bagged ever. I immediately spent 8,000 coins on my first upgrade to Moonlighter, which I thought was a scam at first, until I took a look inside. On top of the additional spaces to sell items, I was also given a free tip jar so customers could show their appreciation. Something you can also do right about now if you're feeling generous. Wink. To increase the likelihood of tips, I decided to buy a new cash register as well, prior to going on my final dungeon run of the session.
I cannot stress to you how I need a break. I need a break. If I keep playing, I'm going to break everything. I need a break. That's the last. That's the final straw. That is the final straw. Do you hear me? Oh my god.
Dude, why is it so ridiculous, man?
Whatever. Who cares? Whatever. Ah, I can't even delete the game I needed for content. Ugh. Okay, good morning, America. Yes, sir. Back to it, back to it, back to it. It's good to be back.
And my first day back would bring in some interesting customers.
There you go, my boy. There you go. What? Wait. Was he trying to steal stuff? It said roll into him. What just happened?
Apparently now that I'd upgraded the shop, I would be attracting all kinds of new customers. Some of them not willing to pay my admittedly outrageous prices. That being said, to keep the customers I had interested, I returned to the Golem Dungeon. This time, I was determined to get further than my last attempt.
Get him, slime boy. Get him. Hit him, slime boy. One time, I can't get him, get him. Yes, sir. I cannot stress to you how happy it makes me feel to have somebody to like run around and do crime with.
But the funny thing about crime is no matter how much you commit, there is always someone doing something worse than you.
Testicles, who knows? Oh! There's a guy in here! What?
That green goo monster is called the Wanderer, a mob that steals loot just as easily as he steals souls, and is also unkillable. The game pretty much chooses when he gets to show up and be evil at random, but the little green eye is kind of like his own version of the bat symbol. Me and my partner in Slime decided Gotham wasn't worth dying for, so I teleported back to town to sell the loot I managed to gather before the green guy showed up, bringing in a serious amount of cash that I used a good amount of to upgrade some shop features, including my bed that gave me bonus health whenever I did choose to sleep. It turns out a good night's rest might have been what I was missing, allowing me to get to level 3 of the dungeon, leading me to upgrading my gear and finding a priceless anti-stun amulet. Some solid steps to finally completing the Golem Dungeon, but it seems like for every step forward, I take 3 steps back.
Guys. Oh my god. I'm so bad at this game. Why did I put it on WhatsApp?
You can really hear the pain in my voice. The following days were pretty much me proving I'm not that guy when it comes to the dungeons. Dude. And making some upgrades to my gear, all while providing top-notch customer service. All prices are final and there are no refunds. The night of my 22nd day of becoming a hero, I returned to floor 3 of the dungeon, battling countless mobs and gathering tons of priceless loot before having my first encounter with a true dungeon boss.
What is that thing? Golem King. That's like a slime on him.
Bro, I'm barely moving his health bar.
Oh wait, but his move is...
Oh! I was about to say his moves suck. His moves don't suck. His moves don't suck.
You know what?
Bro, little bro. What is he doing? What's he about to do? That's great. I'm going to, you know what? Let's take another break. It's fine. We are making progress towards being a hero each and every day, but for now, I need a break. It's fine. It's cool. It's fine. The Golem King bested me my first time around, but after a relatively fast dungeon run of shame, I made it back to the king's domain. This time, his crown, along with his kingdom, would surely be mine.
Kill him.
No, please die. Oh, we killed him. Goodness God, die by my hand.
No one else did it. Me. I killed you. And I want you to know that. I hope you feel every slash, you fiend. Jeez. Louise, bro. Good God, that felt so good. I'm so glad this man is gone.
The sweet taste of regicide never seems to disappoint. With my victory over the king, I was granted some extremely rare loot. The best drop being the Golem King's Amulet that gave a significant boost to HP with the drawback of reduced movement speed. Something I wasn't sure I'd stick with since my big sword already made me a bit slower, but I decided to rock it for now. Along with the loot, the king also dropped one of the keys to the 5th door, putting me one step closer to figuring out if this hero stuff was really worth it. Upon returning to town, I was met by Xenon, who wasn't surprised it was me who dealt with the king, due to my history of being attracted to danger. In typical Xenon fashion, he urged me to focus on Moonlighter since the town was becoming more popular due to my hero work. Good to know my good deed didn't go unnoticed. Taking the old man's advice, I set up shop for the day, and maybe it was a placebo effect, but business did seem to be busier than usual. This, coupled with all the gear I'd acquired from my dungeon hunts, was the perfect storm. And when the day was done, I could have made it rain anywhere.
Bro, we are grilling, bro. We're so 58, bro. We are rich.
The successful day of merchanthood, paired with my recent victory over the Golem King, boosted my confidence enough to check out the new forest dungeon I'd unlocked. Home to all kinds of new plant-based mobs with new abilities, which of course meant I was back to getting rolled.
I'm taking 45 off the rip. This forest dungeon is crazy, by the way.
While doing a bit of limit testing and figuring out what all the scary plants did, I requested another merchant to come join me in Renoka. This merchant being known as the Hawker, who sold decorations for Moonlighter that provided perks like more generous tips, which would only scale up as I continued to expand the shop. Since I was having a rough time with the green goofballs in the forest dungeon, I revisited Golemland so I could beat the king again, only to realize that guy is a huge sore loser and would not be giving me a rematch anytime soon. During the run, I did manage to pick up some more rare loot drops, both of which had some cool effects but weren't exactly perfect for my grand scheme of mass deforestation. Being that plant genocide was now at the top of my to-do list, I decided the first step to trimming the weeds would be upgrading my gear as much as possible, specifically my greatsword, as the new plant monsters were proving to be a little too thick to chop down.
Absolutely would.
Ignore that guy. This of course meant some grinding was in order. Alright man, let's get to it.
The sword was made for swinging, and that's just what I'll do.
Hey.
Hey look, bro. Don't start nothing with me nothing, I swear, bro.
Jeez, man. Everything so scary in here.
Don't be looking around shady like that, bro.
Dude, what? Absolutely, like actually what? Like that's not even like a.
Why is he why is he like that? Like he knows I know, yet he continues to do it.
Get out of here! Why can't I roll into him right now? Get out! Get lost! It says I have 0 health. It says I have 0. I'm leaving. It says I have 0 health. I'm leaving. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. Can we get a fact checked on that? By the time the grinding was done, I'd made a serious amount of cash from all the weed killing I've been up to, which I couldn't wait to spend, upgrading all my gear to their tier 2 variants and completely overhauling my sword situation. The rest of my hard-earned gold went towards expanding Moonlighter, which, like before, I thought was a bit of a scam at first, but once going inside, I was pleased with the results, unlocking the option to take quests from customers and thief-proof displays, so I wouldn't have to fight that guy in the ninja outfit every time he walked in. Before testing my gear in the dungeon, I made the decision to swap my golem ring for one that boosted the effect of potions when I got low, so I could be a little faster with my big sword swings. This, paired with the new bed I bought for Moonlighter, would ensure that I had a solid amount of health to work with. Now, the last thing to do was to head to the dungeon for some much needed lawn mowing.
Ooh. Oh yeah. I'm finna cook. Oh, it's doomed. It's all, it's Jover for you.
My new gear was exceeding my expectations, turning most plants into fresh lawn clippings. This allowed me to finally breach the 3rd floor of the dungeon, chopping down all kinds of nasty mobs along the way, including this demon tree equipped with mystery goop that I found out the hard way is not good for you.
You're doing too much for me, personally, tree boy.
Assuming the worst was over, I decided to take my time carefully clearing out the rooms of floor 3. But sometimes life comes at you fast. Really fast.
Dude, you have got to be kidding me with that. Like, do you see that? Dude, did you see that?
Following the setback in Operation Mean Greens, I spent some time gathering loot to sell at Moonlighter because I had no money for potions or portals, both of which were important for finally putting this green nightmare behind me. Once the fundraising was finished, I began my second journey through the jungle, making it all the way back to floor 3 and finding a super helpful anti-poison amulet. If only I'd been able to keep it.
If I don't have this anti-poison ring when I come back, I'm going to be so upset. Do you understand me?
Spoiler alert, I did not have that ring when I came back. Just like all great crashes, this one was followed by a Great Depression. A period where everything that could go wrong did go wrong, bringing me to one of the lowest points in my journey of being a hero.
God, I might actually tweak out, God, why do you allow this to even happen to me? It is so sinful, nasty, dirty work, and I am such a child of God that it shouldn't even happen to me. But you want to know what? It continues to happen to me. And you want to know what else? Never mind, I don't have nothing else to say.
The depression arc wasn't all tragedy though, as I managed to buy a tier 3 bed and recovered the anti-poison ring I was robbed of, while generating a ton of cash during my climb back to floor 3, which ultimately ended in me getting pretty close to defeating the dungeon's final boss. Driven by my vendetta against all of plant kind, I enchanted my gear at the wooden hat to give me an edge against the boss that I can only describe as every gardener's worst nightmare.
Hey, yo, skip his intro, bro. I do not care, because low-key, this plant boss is actually so weak. He's weaker than all the like plants I've seen up until now. I can't believe I didn't absolutely ruin this guy last time. Like, bro, like that should have been so easy the first time. That boss is actually the worst.
Having uprooted the thorn in my side for the last few days was a huge weight off my shoulders, giving me an assortment of loot and putting me one step closer to opening the 5th door. With the money left over for my depression arc, I upgraded Moonlighter for the 2nd time, providing me with an assistant who would help me run the shop and even could sell loot while I was dungeon diving. A bigger help than Xenon was, that's for sure. Since I now had some help with the shop, I rushed to check out the newest dungeon, this one managing to be even more abstract than the plants from before. Progressing through the dungeon, I was able to test out my current tier weapons against most of the mobs, which were making my big sword look extremely little. That being said, I did manage to get all the way to the 2nd floor boss, who, in typical floor boss fashion, rolled me with a teleporting fireball attack.
That is quite ridiculous.
Following my encounter with Hexa, I found myself in a similar position as the last dungeon, where I was strong enough to deal with the basic mobs, but not strong enough to actually progress all the way to the Godfather. Trapped in what I like to refer to as loot limbo, I began doing dungeon runs for pure greed of resources, resulting in me getting into a fight with an interdimensional wizard from the Wanderer dungeon. When the magic show was over, I returned to the desert dungeon to continue pillaging, but had a run-in with the world's greenest goober.
Oh great. You are such a loser, you know? No way you did that, you punk fiend. Oh my.
Who eventually caused my death. Still, my greed persisted, and ultimately paid off, allowing me to accumulate over 1,000,000 gold nuggets, and defeat the corrupted version of Hexa on the second floor without gear upgrades. A pretty heroic feat if you ask me, but not heroic enough to make me believe I could complete the dungeon without them. So after a final loot run and day of great customer service,
You losers. Get lost. Everybody get lost.
I decided to give my gear a tier 3 makeover, giving me a huge upgrade in health and putting a considerable dent in the funds I spent so long accumulating. The spending didn't stop there either, concluding after I bought all currently available upgrades for Moonlighter, requested the banker to join the Renoka merchants, and enchanted my gear for some extra stats, which I'd say was money well spent, considering I was able to finally meet the thing that was raising all the sand I had to tread through for the last few days.
Is this like a big mage? What is this guy? Oh, Desert Guardian. Oh, he has parts to him. Oh, that's annoying.
The Desert Guardian was by far the most annoying boss yet, being made up of 5 different parts, each doing ridiculous things. The most ridiculous being the ability to spawn homing fire familiars that will literally follow you until they hit you, and if they can't, then they just explode into faster moving projectiles. In case it wasn't evident, I got folded badly. Once being packed up like a lawn chair at the closing of a kid's soccer game, I journeyed back to face the Guardian again, this time with a ring I found that was good for 1 free revive, hoping to conclude this sandy chapter in my hero book.
This time is the last time. Do you understand me? Please? I just got completely folded.
Oh, my ring! Thank you.
Will they come back? They have to come back, right? Surely they come back. Wow. No, dude. Dude, how am I supposed to deal with this thing?
Sadly, dealing with the Guardian was proving a bit more difficult than I expected, but if there's one thing I know is money makes everything easier, leading to me investigating the banker, who, like the retailer, was somehow a bigger con artist than me, giving me the chance to increase or decrease money I chose to invest in his business practices. The biggest red flag being that if I didn't withdraw my money before the weekend, I couldn't get it back. I don't remember Wells Fargo ever mentioning that, but Shady Business is my favorite kind, so I invested $100,000 just to see what happened. While waiting for my bad decisions to come back and bite me, I grinded back through the Desert Dungeon, making it to the boss door for the 3rd time. This time, however, I portaled home to grab a ring that granted bonus health in exchange for defense dropped from the last dungeon's plant boss, since I obviously needed more room for error. Hopefully, my 3rd time would be the charm I needed.
Let's deal with this fraud. What? Fiend. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? Please go down, you dog. Disgusting scream.
I guess you could say the Guardian didn't leave room for Desert.
Why does he insist on cooking?
Look, listen, you really thought you could go a whole clutch video without a bad joke? Come on, man, you know I always got one of those for you. It's really your fault, truth be told. Defeating the Guardian meant I could claim all the loot it was protecting, the best being the Guardian's Amulet that granted bonus health in exchange for attack power, which I already had a good amount of due to my big sword. so I decided to use it. Now that I had 3 keys in my possession, there was only one more dungeon to conquer that Xenon told me was now open due to my nights of being a vigilante. But before heading into another world of hurt, I decided to spend the rest of my money on the final Moonlighter upgrade, which was underwhelming at first considering the price I paid. That was until I found out it came with the bonus of making all my customers certified snitches, which was better than being robbed, I guess. Now that my long day of fighting off birds and bandits was over, I dove headfirst into the 4th dungeon of my long journey of becoming a hero. The tech dungeon was filled with mobs that seemed to come from a futuristic society, dropping electrical components such as capacitors and batteries, and having the ability to produce lightning, a really cool theme for a dungeon. That being said, the tech minions were extremely tanky, taking my big sword swings like champs, and even having the ability to bring back defeated mobs, making them even more resilient. Regardless of the odds, I was a seasoned dungeon diver at this point, and was making good progress defeating the first floor boss and gathering a solid inventory of goods to sell, until making it to the corrupted boss that stayed on floor 2. I'm going to die here. Goodness God. Following the fight with the corrupted oscillator, it was obvious to me that my gear would not be enough to deal with the tougher tech minions of floor 3 onwards, forcing my attempt at my own technological revolution, which, like all good revolutions, had its fair share of setbacks, both physically and monetarily. Be careful, you only got until tomorrow to withdraw your money. Bro, look at my money, bro, my money. What do you mean I only have until tomorrow to bro, look at this, bro. Still, I persisted, knowing what I was working towards was well worth the blood, sweat, and tears I was putting into it. And I started to see results sooner than expected. Ooh, it's up 24. This is why, this right here is exactly why. This is exactly why you never, I always keep, you know what I'm saying? Always keep. Now that I've seen some success from my investment, I was more confident in future risks, which might have turned into cockiness along the way, but I'll let you decide. We go for the million? That's kind of shiesty. Wait, that's not even a million. That's 100,000. Do we do the million, bro? What if he gets me my money, bro? Like, what if my money goes up? What if my money goes up, bro? Like, what if it goes sky? You know what? I like bad decisions. Let's do it. Yes, I'm going to invest $1 million into your company. That is so much money. Okay, let me do my magic. Well, alright, be honest, bro. Do you think it's gonna pay off? While waiting on the shadiest business deal in history to pan out, I continued gathering materials needed for new gear, and participated in the slightly less illegal business of beating up customers. Whose bird is that, bro? Apparently, beating up birds wasn't enough, because soon enough, I found myself having to fight off ghosts as well. What even just hit me? What just hit me? To make matters worse, that $1 million investment I made earlier was not investing the way I thought it would have. Down 50%? What is the banker doing? What can he possibly be doing with my money? Maybe he'll make it back by the end of the week? Waiting around to see the banker lose money was too heartbreaking to watch, so crying during dungeon runs became a form of therapy for me, which also allowed me to collect tons of loot to sell in the meantime, and jelly from all 4 dungeon slimes to create hyper potions that fully heal you. Just a precaution in case the tech boss was a menace to society. Speaking of menaces to society, the last day to withdraw my money from the banker finally dawned on me, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't super surprised with the outcome. Okay, that is the cash that I was speaking on! Yes, sir! See what I'm saying, bro? This is why. Bro, don't ever doubt me, bro. Don't ever. When I double down to the maximum efficiency. You see what I'm saying? Remember, 99% of gamblers quit before their big win. Don't let it slip, people. Now that I closed out the biggest deal of my merchant career, I wanted to make as much extra money as possible to afford upgrades, racking up a little over 3 million coins before upgrading my gear to tier 4 and my sword and bow to lightning status. To make sure I would be able to clear the tech dungeon, I also took the extra step of enchanting all my gear to the max at the wooden hat, allowing me to clear floors 1 and 2 with relative ease before ending up at the door of the 4th dungeon boss. Let's see, who is this guy? What is that thing?
Oh, he like broke out. What is that? That's a cool move. Wait, this guy is so easy. What? Oh wait, never mind. He's doing crazy things now. What is that? Can you stop? Compared to everybody else, that guy is goofy. Get out of here, bro. You're such a. I mean, I gotta stop spitting on people. That guy was a pushover. What?
With the Tech Guardian defeated, I now had all 4 keys needed to unlock the 5th door of Renoka, and after some encouraging words from Xenon, I rushed to check out what was hiding behind it.
Whoa. You look crazy in here, I can't lie. Pete? Oh, Pete!
Upon entering the 5th door, I found myself in a dungeon that looked even more alien-like than the others, with signs of all-out war having took place. While investigating the dungeon, I found notes explaining the species that lived there locked themselves away while hiding from something called the Watch. Not sure what that's about, but they must be a problem. And quite the large one, if what I was about to encounter was scared of them.
What's really good in the interdimensional hood? Unknown Dungeon 2. This is a boss fight. Bikers. Looks like someone finally came to help us. Oh, I have to help you. Who are you? These are no ancient ruins, boy. Why do they keep talking to me like that, man? Do you not know who I am? We are pirates. Me, my now dead men, you... Wait, I'm a pirate now? So many centuries trapped here. Must make up for lost time, rebuild my crew, pillage countless more systems. Oh, I'm gonna have to kill you. You're doing too much. You're speaking too much, and that's not a lot of hero talk. For your assistance, I thank you, and will allow you to leave, boy. I said leave. He said I said leave, question mark? Like, are you stupid? Oh. Dang, this is kind of a ridiculous fight.
No! Having come pretty close to defeating the craziest take on Blackbeard I've ever seen, I returned to the dungeon for my second attempt in a long line of attempts at defeating my most hated boss of the 100 days.
That move, by far, the worst move ever. No. Oh, we did it. Where are you going, you fiend? Come back here. Where is he? Oh, I gotta stop spitting on people, but he deserves spit. That time he deserved it. He deserved spit. That is, if you, oh what? Oh my god, it's a 2-part fight. That's 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 a 2-part fight. Like, what? Why? Huh? That's a 2-part fight. Are you serious?
As serious as you can get. Not only was the last dimensional pirate a menace in his first form, he also had a second form I knew nothing about because of how absurd his first one was. Now that I knew the boss fight was in 2 parts, I knew there was no way I'd complete it without hyper potions, so spent a couple of days collecting jelly from dungeon slimes to mix them up, returning after for another attempt.
What?
And another one. And you can probably see where this is going. Enjoy the montage.
Bro, ain't no way, bro. He's gonna do the thing. Hope not. He is doing the thing. Dude, what? I'm so sad, bro. I'm so sad. Cause like, whoa, how many times does he swing? How many times did he swing? He was swinging and then he just kept swinging. Who is it, man? Gigi, you know why. And if you don't know why, I will tell you. It's because he's ridiculous. Now you know why. So when I say Gigi, you know why? You know why. You know what I'm saying? Now you know. Gigi, you know why. That's all I have to say now. That's all. If I say something else before the run is done, then I'm canceling the run. Gigi, you know why. Gigi, you know why. Gigi, you know why. Gigi. Oh! Gigi. Oh!
While grinding for slime jelly between failed runs, I found another revive ring that I hoped would give me an edge against Captain Hook, replacing my previous ring that gave bonus health in exchange for damage so I could hit as hard as possible. Now the question was, could I hit Jack Sparrow harder than he was hitting me?
Like the video, bro. Oh my, like the video, bro. It's insane, bro. Like the video, bro. The things I do, bro. Like the video. Holy, bro. Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Let me out the burner, mom. What have I done? What have I done, bro, to deserve this? Let me out the burner. Who is this guy? Oh my, who are these people?
The stormtrooper looking guys were from the ICT, a group that basically regulates trade between dimensions, closely associated with the watch the pirates were avoiding. Apparently, me unlocking the 5th door allowed them to track down the pirates, but of course, they arrived way later than a useful time. Due to my help though, they agreed to consider bringing Renoka into the ICT, which would allow me to legally trade interdimensional goods, but this would take a while to make happen. I guess paperwork is a hassle in every dimension. While the paperwork was being sorted, I rested at home, and after 3 months of silence, Renoka was once again very loud. During my vacation, a portal to the Wanderer dimension appeared in front of the 5th door. becoming what the ICT described as a space between dimensions. And of course, I was requested to help close it, and by help, I mean do it completely alone, but that's probably a story for another time. For the remainder of the 100 days, I explored the 6th dungeon, fighting off interdimensional mobs, and the best part, pillaging interdimensional loot, the true essence of being a hero, which is something I couldn't have learned without overcoming all the obstacles I came across the last 100 days. From prehistoric plants to futuristic societies, and rowdy customers to dimensional pirates, every challenge required me to make smart decisions. That's not to say there weren't a bunch of not so smart ones, but we don't talk about those. I think you're a terrible hero. E will not be here next time. Wait, what does that mean? If you think I did a good job becoming a hero, a like would be appreciated, and consider subscribing for more videos like this. We're closing in on 4K, and that's an insane amount of mobs to deal with. Also, special thanks to my current subs. Your support means way more than you think, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Laters.